Well, hello and welcome to another video by Financial Earning. On today's video, we'll be talking about Mullen's Urban Delivery EV Cargo Van and comparing it against other EV commercial cargo vans, specifically the ones that are available today on the market. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So for today's video, we're actually going to be talking about 6 different electric cargo vans. So starting at the top left, that's going to be the Mercedes-Benz e-Sprinter. This is the 2024 version. On the top right, we're going to talk about the 2023 Ford e-Transit cargo van. In the middle left, you're going to see the 2024 Mullen Class 1 EV cargo van. On the right-hand side in the middle, you're going to find the 2024 Rivian ECV 500. On the bottom left, you're going to find the 2024 GM Bright Drop 0400, and on the bottom right, you're going to find the 2024 Dodge Ram ProMaster EV. All right, as you can see, we've got quite a few different specifications to go over. And then on the next slide, we're actually going to run a calculation to show you some of the fuel charges and fuel savings that you can expect for each of these different EV vans. So starting at the first column, you're going to see the payload. This is the amount of pounds each of these vehicles can carry per trip. So for the 2024 Mullen Class 1, you've got 1,683. For the 2023 Ford e-Transit, you've got 3,880. For the 2024 Mercedes-Benz e-Sprinter, you've got 2,624. For the 2024 GM Bright Drop 0400, you've got 3,390. And for the 2024 Dodge Ram ProMaster EV, you have 3,020. And last but not least, the 2024 Rivian ECV 500 has 2,734. So with payload, you also have to be cautious in terms of the range. So when you look at the range, what is calculated by each of these different manufacturers, it's going to be when the vehicles are fully loaded. So because these vehicles have various payloads that they can carry, one thing I thought was very important was to normalize the payload. So you're going to notice that as well in one of these columns. Before we jump too much into payload, let's talk capacity. So for the 2024 Mullen 1, capacity is 42 kilowatt hours. The 2023 Ford e-Transit is 68 kilowatt hours. The 2024 Mercedes-Benz e-Sprinter is 113 kilowatt hours. The 2024 GM Bright Drop 0400 is 165 kilowatt hours. The 2024 Dodge Ram ProMaster EV is 110 kilowatt hours, and the 2024 Rivian ECV 500 is 135 kilowatt hours. So with that being said, you'll notice various ranges. I'm just going to go through these rather quickly. The 24 Mullen has 110 miles. The 2023 Ford e-Transit has 126. The 2024 Mercedes has 230. The 2024 GM Bright Drop has 159. The 2024 Dodge Ram, this is the ProMaster EV, has 162. And the 2024 Rivian ECV 500 has 161. So again, as I mentioned, what I did is I went ahead and took a payload, and I'm considering a half a ton payload. Now remember, when I'm doing this comparison, the type of customers that would be wanting these vehicles would be business owners in this last mile delivery and somewhat light load. We're not going after some extreme heavy type of loads. Think about if you're doing a parcel delivery, or if you have a commercial business and you just have some tools, maybe it's a plumbing, maybe it's electrical type business, you're not going to have more than half a ton of payload in that commercial van. So I went ahead and just used that, and normalizing that with a 1,000 pound load, you're going to get the Mullen at 185 mile range. You're going to get the 2023 Ford e-Transit at 489 mile range, the Mercedes-Benz e-Sprinter at 604 mile range, and the GM Bright Drop 0400 at 539 mile range. The 2024 Dodge Ram ProMaster has 489 mile range, and then the 2024 Rivian ECV 500 would have 440 mile range. The next column is going to be the gross vehicle weight rating. I'm not really going to go over all these, just wanted to share that with you. As you notice that Mullen is the Class 1. All these other electric cargo vans are not Class 1. They're going to be Class 2 or higher. So just want to point that out. If you are looking for a light vehicle, Mullen would be the one, and that actually does help them in terms of the overall range with the battery pack capacity that they have, and as well as with the payload. Another thing to talk about is cargo volume. There is a pretty large difference in the cargo volume. So again, depending on how packed you're going to put these vehicles, what does a day-to-day delivery route look like if it's a parcel delivery situation, or if you are again a commercial business owner and you're an electrician, you're a plumber, you're running cable for satellite companies. What is the cargo really going to be taking up? So a lot of these companies, they're used to the Ford Transit Connect type vehicles or the Nissan NV200 vehicles. These vehicles are rather small in terms of cargo volume, but it's worked fine for many, many years. So that's the exact type of business, commercial business that I believe would still be applicable. So again, looking at these different statistics and specifications, you may find that if you are looking for a rather large volume, rather large payload, the Mullen Class 1 van may not be for you. But I do believe that with the last mile delivery, you do have opportunity here with this Mullen Class 1. So with cargo volume, it's 157 cubic feet for the Mullen, 280.9 cubic feet for the Ford E-Transit, 488 cubic feet for the Mercedes-Benz E-Sprinter, 412.4 cubic feet for the GM BrightDrop 0400, 524 cubic feet for the Dodge Ram ProMaster EV, and 487 cubic feet for the Rivian ECV 500. Last column. And again, if you're a business owner, I believe this is probably one of the more important and critical columns when it comes to purchasing a vehicle. You want to know what you're going to be paying. What's that sticker price? So looking at the 2024 Mullen Class 1, it's $34,500. The 2023 Ford E-Transit, it comes in at $51,495. The 2024 Mercedes-Benz E-Sprinter is $74,900. The 2024 GM BrightDrop 0400 is $74,900 as well. The 2024 Dodge Ram ProMaster EV comes in at $69,000, and the 2024 Rivian ECV 500 comes in at a whopping $83,000. So on this next slide, we're going to jump into exactly how we would calculate the fuel charges and what the fuel savings could be. All right, I'm not going to repeat the columns that we already discussed, but I did think they're important to include on this slide. But we're going to jump over to the fuel cost per year. If you look at the bottom, you're going to actually find some of the variables that I use in order to calculate these. So I found the national average for the kilowatts, the cost per kilowatt hour, I should say, for power consumption. And then as far as this delivery vehicle, or these smaller commercial companies, typically from a national statistic, the mileage per year was 12,500. And if you did a rough calculation of 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year, you're looking at a little less than 50 miles a day is the typical delivery for this type of parcel delivery or a small commercial type company. So with that said, let's look at these prices. So for the 2024 Mullen Class 1 fuel cost per year, it comes out at $476.42. Remember, these fuel costs are looking at a payload of 1,000 pounds. So again, this helps normalize what the range would be. That way, when you multiply the battery capacity with the range and the overall cost per kilowatt and the miles per year, you're able to get a final cost per year. And that's what this fuel cost per year comes out at. So number 2 would be the 2023 Ford E-Transit. It is $292.10. It is actually the least expensive vehicle in terms of fuel cost per year. So keep that in mind as we keep going along. Number 3 is going to be the 2024 Mercedes-Benz E-Sprinter, coming in at $393.19. Again, this is cost per year. Number 4 is the 2024 GM BrightDrop 0400, coming in at $642.85 a year. The 2024 Dodge Ram ProMaster EV has a fuel cost per year at $472.16. And lastly, we have the 2024 Rivian ECV 500 at a fuel cost per year of $644.06. So why do I have all of these and then I talk about a fuel delta? Well, when you start talking about the cost of something, you really want to understand what's that return on investment. So what I did is I took the least expensive vehicle, which is the Mullen Class 1, and we want to look at what the ROI would be for some of these other vehicles if you are a commercial company and you're looking at that. So looking at the delta, what is the difference in price of fuel per year from a Mullen to some of these other vehicles? So if you're comparing Mullen with the Ford E-Transit, the Ford E-Transit is actually going to still save you $184 a year more than the Mullen. However, when you look at the cost, you're going to notice that the ROI for this vehicle is actually going to take 92.2 years. I don't ever think you're going to actually get the cost differential based off of just fuel savings. So I think that's really important to show. As we keep going along, we've got a couple other vehicles wanted to talk about. The 2024 Mercedes-Benz E-Sprinter, again, it does have a slightly less cost per year in terms of fuel usage. However, at just $83.23, and the cost of this vehicle, the return on investment is going to be 485.4 years. Your children's children would not even be able to save the amount of money in fuel savings per year in order to cover the difference of these vehicles. So going into the next section, it's actually a negative fuel usage. So you can look at that there from Bright Drop compared to Mullen. You're actually spending more money and it's more expensive. There's no return on investment if you go with this vehicle. The 2024 Dodge Ram ProMaster has a fuel savings per year of $4.26 when you compare it against the Mullen. So with that, the return on investment will be 8,096 years. I don't ever think you will get any possible savings when you look at the fuel savings compared to the cost of this vehicle. And the Rivian, the 2024 Rivian ECV 500, again, this actually uses more fuel per year compared to the Mullen Class 1. So I did not do an ROI for that one either. So my main takeaway when I look at this slide, when I look over the return on investment, I see that if you are a small company and you're looking to save and you don't have a very large payload, maybe the volume that you're using is acceptable for a Mullen. To me, if this specific vehicle can target your company's business model, I don't see why you would want to go with any of these other electric vehicles. Now, if you have a rather large amount of weight, maybe there's some significant freight that you're carrying, then yeah, you're going to want to go with one of these larger class 2, class 3 size vehicles, and you're going to want to spend a little bit more in terms of overall costs and even on the fuel charges. So I think it's really important, depending on exactly what the vocation, what the market is for this commercial business, make that decision very clear. But as I stated at the beginning of this video, and I still state today, I do feel that the 2024 Mullen Class 1 EV cargo van has a very, very important role in this commercial market. All right, folks, that wraps it up for today's video. If you like it, please consider liking this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on this video. Let me know about other future content you'd like me to cover. And just wanted to point out again, I am not a paid employee of Mullen Automotive. I am just a mere investor. But I do believe that Mullen has an excellent opportunity in this commercial market. And with that said, hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one.